So you go from being a chemical engineer,
Yep.
then you're going to reserve officer. You're finally on patrol. Can you remember that first day on patrol by yourself?
Not so much in Shelly because it wasn't drastically different for me because I'd come down and work. Yes and no. I do because it was March and I know it was right after I had surgery on my shoulder. And I'm thinking, well, okay. I set a goal. It took a while to get here. Um, I'm happier. This is going to be good for me.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. So, yeah, I kind of remember that day. But
Yeah.
in terms of the actual work environment, it wasn't anything drastically different because I already been working, just not alone.
Yeah.
So the only difference to me now was I was by myself a lot.
Yeah. So
A
it's
lot more.
probably a lot less nervousness because you'd already
Yeah.
been doing this.
Yeah.
And
A lot less nurses. The only difference was there's nobody there to ask questions. So my first one was day shift. So working with me and the chief a lot. Then I got into doing graveyards. So there's nobody else there. In Shelly, it's halfway between Idle Falls and Blackfoot. So you have 17 miles from Idle Falls to help. And then depending if the North residents up there, you're another 20 miles away to Blackfoot. So you're truly by yourself. So what I liked about working for Shelly, you took a call from start to finish. So if it was a burglary or a theft, it became yours. There was no detective division. So when you came back to work, you started working it. So one, I learned how to talk to people because you're by yourself. So you get past, you got to go do it. You suck it up and go, okay, going to be a little nervous in some of these calls. You ask for backup. Sometimes you can only wait so long, especially on the domestics. You got to go do what you got to go do. And then being able to write the cases and work on it, that's what I really like. So that's what made me start kicking off again more. I like this part of solving the cases, being the detective part on doing that. That's also when domestic violence became more of the officers get to arrest. It was back in the days, right about the transition time when if the victim didn't say they wanted to arrest, you couldn't. Now it came to you get the elements of the crime, and if you could arrest, you would arrest. So, and I don't know how many domestic violence classes I took, quite a lot in that time frame. And even that is changed drastically now to when you look at strangulation and what we know about that. And I look back at the cases there, like a lot of stuff was missed, but just due to lack of education in how things progressed. So I enjoyed that. I did want to become a detective, so unbeknownst to my chief, sorry, Alan, I applied to both Bonneville County and Idle Falls, and got an interview with both. And at that time, I actually, Bonneville County called, and they were going to hire 5, then they wanted to hire 4. And I had a call like 6 months later saying, "Are you still interested?" I went, "Yep." And actually, I was sitting in a, what do you call it? An instructor development class, sitting up in Idle Falls with Idle Falls cops, Bonneville County cops, and a couple others. And they actually took a bet on if I was going to work for Idle Falls or Bonneville. Bonneville already offered me the job, and I'm sitting there. And somebody came in and said, "The chief wants to talk to you." So I got pulled out of class to go talk to the chief. And they were literally taking bets on which agency I would work for. The city has always paid more because it's the city versus the county. I've always preferred, even though I've worked for a city, I like the county atmosphere better because it's got a wider variety of things you can do. You can go work the backcountry. You can be a school resource officer. You're more by yourself. And I don't know, I kind of like being able to just go where I want to go and give a little more space. And then I think you could advance your career a little faster within the sheriff's office and more room. And it felt more for me. I did some ride-alongs more and knew the guys in both agencies, and I just felt closer knit to the county.
okay.
So I chose the county.
And
Plus, I gave my word. One thing.
yeah.
Oh, one other one for that. I shouldn't do it. Sid Poole. When I went in there and said, "Sid, I have a question," Lieutenant Poole, he remembered me from 6 months prior, going, "Yeah, Karl, what do you need?" I was shocked that he remembered my name. I tell him this story to this day. He's like, you're one of the reasons I decided to stay with Bonneville County, because you remember me. You took the time out of your day when I just showed up out of the blue. Like, I had a bunch of questions because the city just offered me a job. Oh, come again. And we had those discussions, and that helped solidify for me I got to work for Bonneville County.
How old were you when you started with Bonneville?
I was 43.